Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 274 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's always so nice to be with you, and I love that you're listening, and I also really appreciate it when you share these episodes, especially because you know someone will love them as well. So I thank you for that. All right, have you ever had a professional tell you something couldn't be done, but you felt like it should be able to be done, so you were kind of skeptical? How about having someone tell you something isn't available, only to find out that it is in fact available? For whatever reason, they just didn't have the correct information. This happened to me 3 times this week, just this week. So I feel like it's something that cannot possibly be ignored. I had to talk about it. Now, I think COVID restructured things in our world where it seems like it's harder to get great customer service. Now, I know it will rectify itself. The markets always do. If someone is doing the bare minimum, someone else will come along and do it better. It's just how it works. So I'm not being negative Nancy when I say that about our world. I actually think COVID's shakeup of the world has opened up so many new doors, which I know is an optimist's way to look at things. But I'm an optimist. How else am I going to look at it, right? But I do have a really big problem with just taking a no, it can't be done at face value. Because I've pushed back on that statement enough and found that actually it can be done enough to be very skeptical when I hear it, even from a professional. I was working on a project this week, and we were working with a different subcontractor than we normally use. For one, our client had used him before and liked him, but he was also half the price of our normal guy. So, all right, we're going to give him a shot. So here we are in the thick of things, and it becomes clear to me why he's half the price of our normal guy. Let me just say that it's working with electric, and I'm not an electrician, but I have a passion for lighting, and so I've worked a lot with it in my design world. I know when I'm being sold a pile of baloney. So my lighting plans are often very forward thinking. We aren't doing just the normal overhead light and call it a day. So this new guy, first of all, tells me that what I want cannot be done, which I know isn't true because we've done it before. And then he said the problem that we were having with 2 lights was just a case of really bad luck and couldn't be fixed. No further checking, no researching, no offering to help, just I don't know, and I'm not even going to try, basically. So now we have to bring in our original guy, go figure, to look at the problem and find it, which he figured out what was going on, and it can be fixed. You see, one electrician gives up without even trying and then chalks the other thing up to bad luck, and the other electrician won't quit until he finds the answer. Even if it's something he doesn't know, he figures it out. I'll pay for that. That's something that's worth it to me. And from now on, he'll probably get my business. But I learned a valuable lesson, one that I will not soon forget. You do get what you pay for. And having a person on your team that won't quit, that's how you succeed. And never take no, it can't be done, simply at face value. I mean, so often in our society, people think that it's unfair that certain people have a level of wealth and others don't. But in my opinion, the value you give is in direct correlation with the money you make. So when you're adding a lot of value, you make a lot more money. You see, the guys that were half the price, they'll probably always be half the price because they don't want to grow. They don't want to learn. They want to do what's easy and go home. And that's fine for some projects, for some designers, but it isn't for me, and it's not for my contractor, Billy, not with the type of work we're doing. It's why we work together so well. If there's a way, we're going to find it. If there's not, we're reasonable, and we will know that too. But we know the value of persistence. Sometimes not quitting is all it takes to succeed. So many quit so quickly. Don't do that. I laugh a lot because Billy generally has no problem getting guys to work on his jobs because they know he's going to keep calling until they show up. So they may as well just show up and knock it out because he's going to keep hounding them. That's the contractor I want on my team. It's so bad that I talk to my baby sister every morning, 7:30 a.m. We have a call, and when I say, hey, Billy's calling, let me just call you back, she knows not to argue anymore because she knows he's going to keep calling until I answer. So I might as well just go ahead and answer. I kind of love that about him. But you see, he doesn't quit, and he doesn't take no at face value. And most of the guys that we work with don't either. I mean, when that first and that second and that third thing doesn't work, most people will quit. But what if it's that fourth thing that was gonna work, but you quit before you tried it? That's what happens to most people. They quit just before they have a breakthrough or a success. And they never grow beyond where they are because they simply give up without researching, or they chalk it up to bad luck and call it a day. They only want to work with the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of competition for low-hanging fruit because it's easy and it doesn't require a lot of skill. And a lot of people would have taken that answer, no, that won't work, and shrug their shoulders and just accept it. Well, I have a tendency to be frustrating to those subcontractors that think I'm naive because I'm not taking it won't work at face value. I'm going to ask the questions, the hard questions. What have you tried? What would work? Is there something or someone that would know another way? Those are questions that as a designer, I have to keep in my back pocket all the time. In fact, we all could keep those in our back pocket all the time. You're going to run into that a lot in your life. People who say, we don't have that, it won't work, it's not available. That's another thing that happened. That's the second time I heard it was Billy, my contractor, and I were in Lowe's recently. This last week, actually, and we were looking for a certain barn door hardware, and we needed a little help finding it. So the nice lady that we stopped and asked, she said very matter-of-factly and confidently, we don't sell anything like that. Well, I knew that wasn't true because I'd seen lots of options on their website. She even made a show of searching the website and said, yeah, we don't carry it, sorry. So Billy and I kind of looked at each other, and I quickly pulled up my phone and searched and found on their site and showed it to her. But had we taken her at face value, we would have left the store without what we needed. Instead, we got it delivered 2 days later to our client's store. And it wasn't that she was being malicious. She was nice. She just didn't know and didn't think we knew either. So it was just easier to tell us no and go about her day. The third time that it happened this week, there was this lovely pair of suede tennis shoes that I just wanted so badly. I loved them, and I'd found them online, but I wanted to try them on to see how comfortable they would be. I'm going to Paris in a few weeks, and I need a good pair of walking shoes that look good. So I go into the store that they're from, and I asked to try them on, and the guy was so sweet and so helpful, but they didn't have my size. So I tried on a size bigger, and they were super comfortable. So I said, okay, I think the 7 will be just fine. Let's order it. So he said, let's do it right here in the store because you'll get free shipping. Okay, great. So then we get back there and we're ordering. He's typing on the computer. And then he looks up at me and goes, uh-oh. Well, it looks like they're completely out online. I can't, it's not going to let me order it. Yeah, there's just no more left. And I was like, really? Oh man, I just last night saw those. He was like, yeah, sorry. So I thanked him and I went on my way, a little bit sad, but it's okay, right? It's a pair of shoes. He was trying to get me to get another pair of shoes, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna, I don't want to settle for something I don't like. Now, we already know I'm not one, just from this episode, to take no at face value. So as soon as I get home, I get on my computer and wait a minute, they are available and they'll be here in 2 days. Sometimes the difference between a no and a yes is simply not quitting, simply not giving up, being the one that asks the hard questions, and surrounding yourself with people who also won't quit. Be persistent enough to get what you want. Don't let the first no be the last. You may need 5 no's to get to the 1 yes, and that's worth it. It's worth it to get what you want. A lot of people would have gone to their next favorite shoe and bought it instead. But no, I get the one that I really want, and it's going to be here in a day or 2. Learn to hold on when most people would be letting go. That's how you get what you want. That's one of the big differences between people who succeed and those who don't. It's not because they're smarter. It could be they were just the ones that wouldn't quit. And if all else fails, Google is miraculous. I learned more about flickering LED lights this week than I cared to, but I'm glad I did. My challenge to you this week is to be persistent. Don't take it can't be done or we don't have that at face value. Learn to ask, what have you tried? What can be done? And is there someone else we can ask that could help? These are non-confrontational, open-ended questions that often help open their own minds to what's possible. It could be they were just hoping for an easy out, and when you didn't give it to them, they start trying to come up with solutions, maybe just to get rid of you. One of the biggest compliments someone could give me is she never takes no for an answer. That hasn't always been true. It's a learned trait for me. And if I can learn it, you can too. Be the person that never takes no for an answer. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.